Well, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimSpeed TV. My name is Scotty Fountain and I'll be your host for this evening's event. And tonight we bring you coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. And tonight we are coming to you live from an amazing circuit known as VIR, Virginia International Raceway, which is based in Elton, Virginia, USA. 5.2 kilometers in length and 17 turns in total, and it should be a great race tonight. Joining me in the commentary box, we have two guys tonight, two of the regulars, and the first of them is Clayton Brooks. How you going, Brooksy?
Yeah, good, thanks, Monty. Great to be here tonight to watch this race. It's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, mate, it certainly will be. And the second of our commentators for tonight, Josh Noack. How you going, Josh? I didn't actually get anything from you there, Josh, mate, but anyway, so yeah, tonight we have a certainly an action-packed race ahead for you, and we're just in qualifying at this stage, and we've got 7 minutes just to go. Ian Ford has topped the times at this stage, and he is sitting on a 1 minute 48.249, then followed in second by Joshua Rogers, Mitchell Selleck in third, Jake Blackwell in fourth, and Michael Cracknell in fifth. We were certainly treated to a great race last week at Monza, and Joshua Rogers managed to come through and win that race. Him and his teammate Richard Hampstead had a great battle to the end, and Ian Ford finished in third. So tonight's race preview, we are 134 metres above sea level. We have a 72 km/h pit lane speed limit, 5.2 k's in length. Says 20 turns, but 17 turns. And tonight we have a 32 lap race. Going over the page now, it's partly cloudy in this qualifying session. 25 degrees air temperature, a 40 degree track temp, so quite hot for these guys. It'll be certainly pretty hard on the car, be wearing out tyres pretty quickly. A 45% humidity, 0% fog, and a 13.9 km/h wind speed. So as we look at the points so far for the series, we've actually had Michael Cracknell take over the lead, and he is on 2,215 points. Joshua Rogers closely behind on 2,043. Ian Ford in third on 1,913. Kurt Stenberg 1,769, and Brent Hobson in 1,570. And in sixth we have Simon Black, Ryan O'Sullivan in 7th, Michael Hammond in 8th, Matt Jones in 9th, and Greg Sharp in 10th.
That the leaderboard there, Ponty, at the top's pretty tight on those championship standings, about halfway through the season.
Yeah, well, it's certainly been a great season so far. We've seen some great performances by Joshua Rogers. He's certainly been the class of the field, and it's good. We didn't have Ian Ford join us for the first few rounds, but he's certainly up there in the championship points. Had some good numbers so far for this series, so it's been great to see the attendance is large.
Yeah, speaking of attendance, we've got 23 drivers in the other server and 32 drivers in this server, so quite a big field tonight. I'm not sure if they'll split that field and have two races or merge them all into one.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what Simon Black will come up for this event. Cool little track, VIR. I certainly struggled with it when I first started on iRacing. But yes, some great turns, some nice fast long straights, and you really have to be committed through parts of the track. You done many laps around here, Brooksy?
Yeah, mate. Heaps actually in the back in the day. A lot of people likened it to Bathurst. So when we didn't have Bathurst, used to do a lot of laps here. But I particularly like this track. I think it's a fun track. The S is heading up the hill towards the old oak tree that's no longer there, unfortunately. But it's a great section of the track, and the last couple of corners heading down to the main street, main straight there. There's a lot of fun.
Josh, are you with us, mate?
No, still having mic problems by the sounds of that, Fonny, or by the lack of sound.
Yeah, it certainly does. Bit of a shame there, but that's alright. We will fix that up.
But in this server, your current top 10, he's forward from Rogers has just improved his time immensely. Done a 48.5. Ducialak, that's done a 48.8. Cracknell on a 48.8 as well. Then Jake Blackhall's the first guy in the 49s with a 49 flat, 49.3 to Stenberg. Zettinger has done a 49.4. Cooper Murray on a 49.5. O'Sullivan on a 49.6 and El Nabi on a 49.8. So it's probably from Ford and Rogers, from 3rd down to 10th. It's all covered within a second. So yeah, it's going to be a good race.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a race to the end for the championship. Joshua Rogers didn't turn up for 1 week and he managed to slip behind, so Michael Cracknell, he's sitting in 4th at the moment. Keep an eye on him. Hopefully he can have a good race tonight. So we should announce that the V8 SUPERCAR Series is coming to us very soon, next weekend to be in fact, and we will here at SimSpeed TV be having that covered under us and sharing that with V8's Online. I've taken over the V8's Online directorship for the V8 SUPERCAR Series, so we look forward to that. We'll just have a little preview there for the V8 SUPERCAR Series poster. We do have a series sponsor, which all the details for that will be released within the next few days. We've managed to get a pretty decent sponsor on board for this year, and also partnering with some other big brands out there. So we've got...
It's certainly going to be an exciting year for the V8 Supercars. Of course, they've official Monday nights races are still strong and being broadcasted as well. So plus this Wednesday night series and the Scott. So it's going to be a big year if you drive the V8 Supercar.
Yeah, it certainly will be. We've got 15 rounds, over 20 races, 4 race formats, 2 top split broadcasts, over 1,000 laps and 5,000 kilometers in total. So I'm certainly really looking forward to being a part of the V8 SUPERCAR Series for this year and bringing the broadcast to you. So we look at the first round. So it's at Montreal, and that's on the 25th to the 28th of February. We will just be covering the broadcast on the 28th, Sunday the 28th. But qualifying sessions and whatnot are in previous days to that. Then we go to Watkins Glen on March the 10th. Then over to Sonoma Raceway on April the 3rd. And Sebring on April the 24th. Then on to Atlanta Raceway, Road Atlanta and that's on the 8th of May. Then the 22nd of May we go to the legendary Spa circuit. Then along to Oran Park on the 5th of June. Indianapolis will be the race on the 3rd of July. Circuit of Americas on the 24th of July. Then we go to Monza on the 21st of August, and then we get, which is the first round of the Enduro Cup. Then we go to the Phillip Island 500 on September the 11th. October the 2nd, we will have the legendary Bathurst 1000 back at this awesome track, Virginia Raceway, on the 30th of October. Then over to Autodrome Carlos Pace on the 6th of November. Then the final round will be held at Road America on the 24th of November.
Yeah, and as you can see there, there's the 3 enduro races starting August and finishing at the end start of October. There's actually 3 championships within this championship. Of course, you've got the Drivers' Championship. We're running a Team Championship this year as well as an Endurance Championship. So those 3 races of Monza, Phillip Island and Bathurst can count towards some decent prizes, hopefully. And yeah, it's going to always be great watching the endurance races in this car.
Yeah, as I was saying, really looking forward to this year, and I certainly would like to implement some cool things for not only the viewers but for the drivers. We've had a lot of interest so far for that series, and we have our first broadcast for that next Sunday, which will be starting at about 6 PM Sydney time next Sunday, and we'll go through till about 11 o'clock at night. We'll have a development series race, which will certainly bring plenty of action before the big main game race later on in the evening. So as we look at the qualifying results for this session, we have Ian Ford has topped the time list with a 1:48.249, and then 0.2 of a second down the road is Joshua Rogers. Mitchell Selak sitting in 3rd, and then Michael Cracknell in 4th, Jake Blackhall in 5th, Kurt Stenberg in 6th, Adam Zittinger in 7th, Cooper Murray in 8th, Ryan O'Sullivan in 9th, and Forzan Al Nabi rounding out your top 10.
I believe we might have Josh now. Can you hear us there, Josh?
I hope it's working now, is it?
Oh, we
Yeah,
can
mate.
hear you loud and clear now, mate. Just going
Oh, that
through
was my bad.
It's alright, mate, no worries. Thanks for joining us, good to have you back here. So just going over the page for qualifying results in this server, keeping in mind we do have another server which is running, which this may slightly jumble up things, but we have Peter Sattler in 11th, ANZ Motorsports Richard Elwood in 12th, Lee Ellis in 13th, Sean Thompson in 14th, Marty Atkins in 15th, Greg Sharp in 16th, Josh Cook in 17th, Robbie Thomas in 18th, Brenton Hobson in 19th, and Blake Neck in 20th.
And then over from those guys, 21st is the guy running this show, Simon Black in 21st, Raymond Stayer in 22nd, Jake Maloney 23rd, 24th went to Nick Parker, 25th Henry King, Wayne Taylor in 26th, Jaden Borg in 27th, 28th went to Tony Clark, Roy Clark 29th, and Sean Evans in 30th, which I don't think he set a time, as well as Marcelo Rivera, Jonathan Hancock and Brenton O'Brien. I don't think any of those guys actually set a time.
Yeah, so good turnout for this qualifying session. We've got about 8 minutes until the next server is up, so we will leave you with something to watch in the meantime, and we'll be back with you soon for the race for round 9 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. in which we're coming to you from VIR tonight.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
iRacing is the most accurate online racing game and simulation available to the general public. The iRacing service allows you, the race fan, the real-world racer, the race enthusiast, the gamer, to race virtual replicas of real-world cars and at real-world, world-class racetracks. iRacing laser scans all of its content to millimeter accuracy, which gives you a digital replication of that car or track. Whether you want to race for online championships, race your buddies in a league, or test for an upcoming real-world race, iRacing has what those sim racers, gamers, race fans, and real-world racers are looking for. Unparalleled accuracy with loads of fun wheel-to-wheel excitement. Because of the solid community that iRacing has built, along with that attention to detail, iRacing has been able to form official partnerships with renowned motorsport organizations such as NASCAR, SRO, IMSA, V8 SUPERCARS, and others to develop professionally sanctioned online racing series for our members to participate in. This is unique to iRacing.
When we started iRacing, we kind of fundamentally wanted to take a different approach with licensing and treat them more like partnerships. You know, for instance, NASCAR was one of our first big partners that we brought in, and it's a great way to market your product. There is a growing sense that the virtual space is a great way to interact with the fans of your real-life series. Simulation in itself is just becoming more and more popular in the real racing world, and it's natural to think that to be successful in the real world in these racing series, you're going to have to be up to speed with simulation at this point, because it's the only way that you can actually get any testing done.
One of the things that we've realized in partnering with iRacing is that it allows us to expose the sport to a much broader audience than we've ever had the ability to reach out to. Not many people have the opportunity to drive a race car. iRacing breaks down those barriers and lets you do that. So for us, we're able to expose racing in general and the sport of NASCAR to a much broader audience from that standpoint. It engages people in NASCAR in general, so if they like iRacing, if they don't want to become a professional race car driver, they get a feel for what the sport's all about, they're more apt to either go to a race or watch on TV.
iRacing's ever-growing global online community is very appealing to IMSA and what we're trying to do and grow our product as well. Clearly, iRacing is a leader in sim racing and logical and attractive partner for us to be with. For sim racers who have not been exposed to IMSA before, this is a great way to entice them to come check our product out on television or attend our events in person.
At this point now, we're actually getting contacted by racing series and tracks and manufacturers because they want to be involved in iRacing, because they see the value of having that sustained exposure to key demographics for them. Over the last few months, we've done partnerships with the SRO, who is the sanctioning body for the Blancpain GT series in Europe. IMSA, which is obviously the sports car series here in the US. They're two of the newest partners that have gotten on board with this idea that there is a way to kind of bring their brands into iRacing and create these virtual series that have real meaning to consumers of our product and fans of their series.
Next to the traditional ways of promoting the championships through TV, through media, through all forms of internet, we appreciate the growing importance of gaming. iRacing offered a very realistic platform where high-level players can get the nearest to the specificity of our type of racing.
Companies like NASCAR or Blancpain Series or IMSA don't just partner up with everybody. They see how authentic we are, how realistic the racing is, how much effort we put into making things real and fun and exciting for our members, and that's how we get to work with these. It helps us both engage our existing customers. It's more exciting to race when we're racing an actual NASCAR series versus just a stock car, and it also helps us reach new people. They follow these series in the real world. They want to get as close to them as we possibly can.
One of the things we love about iRacing and what they've created there is that it really emulates what we do in real life in NASCAR. You have to work your way up. And every single level to make it to the very top. iRacing is a perfect partner with the technology that they had to offer. Really the best racing companies out there and create the most authentic racing experience that's easy to follow. Short of getting an actual race car, you can closer to what you'll find on iRacing.
Well, good evening folks, and welcome back to SimSpeed TV's live coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. Tonight we're on round 9 of the series, and we are at the VIR circuit. It's certainly going to be a great race tonight. We have other guys in the commentary box. which they are Clayton Brooks and Josh Nowak. How you guys feeling about this race tonight? Who's your pick for the race win?
Yeah, good evening everyone. Pick for the race win. Ian Ford looks pretty strong in qualifying there. A couple of attempts quicker than Josh Rogers, but I think the winner's definitely going to come out of those two.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Brooksy on that one there. Either Josh Rogers or Ian Ford, they'll look pretty strong there in quali.
Yeah, they certainly do. Good to see these guys turning up every weekend racing for the series. Going to be some practice this week, and next week will be some good practice for the first round of the V8 SUPERCAR Series, which we were touching on before. And I think we can expect to see Joshua Rogers a big contender for the V8 SUPERCAR Series this year. He's had a great performance throughout the year, throughout this season I should say.
Yeah, definitely funny talking to his teammate Richard Amston, who is a multiple official series champion and the initial V8 SUPERCAR champion. He believes Rogers may beat him this season, so if you can beat Hampstead, you're definitely in a shot to win the championship.
Yeah, so we saw in the previous qualifying session that Ian Ford was on pole position. We don't have, iRacing hasn't updated their starting grid yet. We only get that moments before the race, but I think we can expect to see Ian Ford on 1 and Joshua Rogers on 2, Mitchell Selak on 3, and Michael Cracknell on 4. These guys just finishing off their warm-up session now. As we look at the race preview for this event, 134 metres above sea level, a 72 km/h pit lane speed limit, 5.2 k's in length, actually 17 turns in total, and tonight we have a 32 lap race, 167 kilometres long.
Yeah, so it's just going to probably go just a nudge over 2 hours of racing. 1 hour of racing.
Yeah, it should be a great race. So turning over the page for tonight, it's partly cloudy in the sky. We've got an air temperature of 30 degrees, a track temperature of 44 degrees, so 4 degrees hotter than the qualifying server. So these guys are really going to struggle with their tyres tonight. It's going to be a race of who looks after the rubber the best, I think. And it will be interesting to see when these guys make their pit stops. And we have a 59% humidity, 0% fog, just a 5 km/h wind speed. So as we look at the championship points again, we've got Michael Cracknell leading the series with Joshua Rogers behind in second, Ian Ford in third, Kurt Stenberg in fourth, Brenton Hobson in fifth, Simon Black in sixth, Ryan O'Sullivan in seventh, Michael Hammond in eighth, Matt Jones in ninth, and Greg Sharp in 10th. Mihail Latishoff in 11th, Marty Atkins 12th, Peter Sattler 13th, Robbie Tommett 14th, Nick Hausler 15th, Simon Tennant 16th, Cade Cougarmere 17th, Paul Preston 18th, Fawzan Al Nabi 19th, and Henry King in 20th. So as the starting grid rolls up now, we will just have a quick look at that. Ian Ford on 1, Joshua Rogers on 2, Mitchell Selak in 3, Michael Cracknell on 4, Jake Blackwell in 5th, Matt Stratford in 6th, Kurt Stenberg in 7th, Paul Grell in 8th, Adam Zettinger in 9th, and Cooper Murray in 10th.
Yeah, look for plenty of action in that mid-pack of that top 10 there too. I think Fonzie, especially down in the turn 1.
Yeah, it's going to be an action-packed turn 1, I think.
The times over qualifying were pretty close, with 6th to 14th separated just by a second.
start lights go on, and they go green, and we are away racing. Ford gets it off the line reasonably well. Mitchell Selak got it off the line really well. He's there in third. Joshua Rogers on the outside there. Oh, slight lock up for Selak as he was trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, I think he was a little worried of Josh Rogers cutting the nose off there and his lock brake, trying to avoid any contact. Managed to hold it though. They look like they're getting through the first couple of corners quite okay.
Oh, just saw Marty Atkins run off the track there. He won't be too happy with that.
No, any off tracks on the first couple of laps, you're bound to lose a lot of positions.
And so everyone gets through cleanly. Ian Ford out in front now. Joshua Rogers closely behind. Bit of a gap formed for Mitchell Selak in third, and Cracknell right on his rear bumper in fourth. Jake Blackwell in fifth. Matt Stratford sitting there in sixth. Kurt Stenberg in seventh.
They all pull down this massive back straight as well.
It's a huge back straight. So yeah, quite a hard next corner. You got to slide up, pull it up right up to second gear, ride the curb. The boys are just coming around to complete lap one. But N40's had a great start to the race. Joshua Rogers sitting half a second back. Mitchell Selak running wide now. Michael Cracknell up the inside, and he takes third. So late break there for Mitchell Selak. He's lost a position to Cracknell. There's a bit of a gap between... Oh, sorry, Brooksy, what were you saying?
I was going to say it's 2 laps now in a row that Selak has made a mess of turn 1. So you'll want to be getting his act together for there, because he's gotten a lot of pressure from Jake Blackwell right behind.
Yeah, and it is quite a difficult turn 1. Sort of a very long front straight, and down to a second gear in these cars.
You can probably see going up through those S's, the right rear tyres popping an absolute hammering when the weight of the car is shifting through those S's. You guys will have to be mindful of that. As we look back at Adam Zettinger, he's Rhino Sutherland, his teammate from ERA, right underneath his rear wing, and he may have a look at the end of this back straight. It is a little bit of a difficult spot too, because it's got that little kink to the left in the braking zone, so it's hard to get side by side through there.
Yeah, some groups starting to form now. Michael Cracknell's got a big train of cars behind him.
Yeah, and there's a pretty big gap between second and between the first pack and the second pack there. Ian Ford and Josh Rogers have done well to open up that gap.
O'Sullivan's now past Zettinger for 8th position. Maybe you're right, Josh. That's a huge lead there, guys. Have got out the front. It's a 4-second lead over Cracknell. Josh Rogers has got.
I'd say that the gap will only grow bigger as these guys are fighting pretty hard.
So Ian Ford setting the pace early on in the race. It's been a battle between both him and Joshua Rogers throughout this season. And these guys turning it up for us again.
back into the pack. Battle for 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. That's a huge train of cars coming through in the middle of the pack there.
Certainly is. We've got Matt Jones sitting there in 20th.
Robbie Tomei and Marty Atkins side by side down the back straight. It's going to be a braking duel. Marty Atkins late on the brakes. He gets a little loose, manages to pull it up. He's fighting his way back through the field. He did qualify, I think, around 18th. Back in 24th, so he'll be trying to fight his way back through. So he gets another position there. It's Josh Cook running wide on the last corner.
Yeah, there's a couple big names in that pack there with Cooper Murray and Paul Gorell, who both started in the top 10. Now back down in 16th and 18th, fighting with those guys.
So good to see we've got Lee Ellis join us tonight. Lee has been around the iRacing scene for a long time. Good to see him out here having a crack at the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 SUPERCAR Series. You can expect we'll see him in the V8 SCOP Series. He's currently sitting 13th position at the moment. Bit of a gap to the cars in front of him, but I can imagine we will see in the pit stops a few changes in grid positions.
There has been a couple of position changes in the top 10. It looks like Kurt Stenberg has gotten past Matthew Stratford on this lap, and now he's just made another pass. Mitchell Silac. So Silac's dropping back a little bit as this in the early stage of this race. Just in front, Cracknell and Blackwell side by side. Cracknell's got the preferred line. They nearly touch. I'm not sure how they didn't touch there, but Blackwell's managed to hold it around the outside and kept the position.
Yeah, good pass there by Blackwell. Got a great bunch forming here. Mitchell Silac's dropped down the road a bit.
And just like that, oh sorry, Craig.
You're right, Stenberg's past Cracknell down the inside. It's a good move there by Stenberg, nice and clean. Very late on the brakes.
We might go back and have a look at that, I think.
One of the guys in this top 10 that's got a lot of pace on board is O'Sullivan. He's got past his teammate in Zettinger 2 laps ago. Last lap he got past Matty Stratford, and now he's putting plenty of pressure on Silac for 7th position. There has been a change up the front. We've missed the guys. Ian Ford has fallen to second behind Josh Rogers. Still within striking distances. Ford closes up very close under brakes.
We might just go back 60 seconds, have a look and see if we can see the replay.
You'll be looking at lap 4 into turn 1 there, Ponty.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago. We didn't have our cameras fixed on it, unfortunately. Looked like Ford may have just outbraked himself a little bit, and Josh Rogers was able to sneak up the inside.
But these guys have got a huge gap back to the second pack with 7 seconds.
Yeah, so we've just gone back, managed to find where Ford is in the lead, so we'll just stay on them and see how that pass was made.
It's a great battle shaping up for the final podium spot, with Blackwell still managing to hold Stenberg at bay. Cracknell, Silac and O'Sullivan all itching at the bit try and get up there.
Oh, great move by Joshua Rogers there. Pounced at a mistake made by Ian Ford.
It looks like Rogers is starting to build a gap in half a second on Ian Ford already in that one lap.
Just saw him, Ian Ford, make a mistake there in that double right. Just gave Joshua Rogers a bit of a gap. Just look back in the field now. Kurt Stenberg still sitting there in 4th position. Michael Cracknell closely behind in 5th now. Mitchell Selak still hanging in there. First of the ANZ cars. Running the Super Test livery that the ANZ boys did. And we can expect to see a new livery for that team for the VIR SUPERCAR Series.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams out there still running just testing liveries from the V8 SUPERCAR Super Tests the other day.
Yeah, unfortunately we were unable to cover the Super Test. I was away prior engagements, but we will be bringing you all the action for round 1 next weekend.
I can't take my eyes off this battle for 3rd position. The gaps between these 5 guys is just opening up and closing up again. Oh, it's Cracknell. A lot of smoke off the rear tyres heading into the Oak Sullivan.
Oh,
Right
O'Sullivan,
outside
is he around? No, he managed to save it. Big moment there. Might just jump back and have a look at a onboard for that.
Braking position of the car there. You've got to be able to turn the car and brake, and it's very easy to lock the outside wheel.
So
Yeah,
he's been put under pressure by Matt Stratford. And Adam Zittinger right behind them in 9th.
Of course, out of all that, Selak would have breathed a sigh of relief, and he can concentrate now on trying to get the move done on Cracknell, Stenberg and Blackwell.
Richard Aylward sitting there in 10th. He's also another driver who will be running the V8 SUPERCAR Series. Happens to be my teammate for the Enduros, but I unfortunately won't be doing the Enduros this year as my focus has now become the broadcast. We will see, team him up with someone good for that Endurance Series. As we've just had some action up the front here, guys. Side by side for Ian Ford and Joshua Rogers as they big drag race up the straight now. Who's going to break the latest?
Rogers has kept the nose in there.
Rogers having the inside line for this turn, but then Ian Ford will have it for the next, and Ian Ford gets it. So we didn't quite see what happened there. We might just scroll back and have a quick look. See if Rogers did make a mistake.
Yeah, he did. The same spot we saw O'Sullivan nearly in the last lap around, and Ford nearly followed him off. He just got the back end of the car loose on the dirt on the outside, and yeah, Ford was very close to following Rogers off the track.
Yeah, probably the most difficult part of the circuit, I would think. Certainly,
And
I've
Rogers is-
dropped off there at times.
And Rogers has followed that mistake up again, and he's run off the road at the last corner. And Josh lost a heap of time to Ian Ford now.
So, a bit of a gap formed for Ian Ford. 1.5 or 2 second gap, which that will not be easy for Rogers to catch up. But if anyone can do it, Rogers can do it. We will see. Oh, he's putting a lot of effort in, making mistakes all over the show. The gap's opened up now to 2.3 seconds. So Ian Ford getting a bit of a break. This will give him an advantage in the pit lane. We're 9 laps into it, so we're not too far away from half race distance. And I think we can expect to see the guys pit maybe between lap 16 and 20. Oh, just following Kurt Stenberg, and he's slightly clipped the tyre barrier on that double right.
Yeah, I heard that. I wasn't sure which car that they come from, but yeah, Stenberg, he's got some damage to the front right quarter panel now of his Go Postal Holden Commodore.
Yeah, our overlays slightly haven't updated correctly, and we're not seeing his livery for tonight. We might just try and fix that now. So the gap has slightly closed at the front, not by much, only by 0.3 of a second. I think Joshua Rogers will be putting all his focus into this now. Just looking back in the field, 20th we've got Brenton Hobson, Marty Atkins closely behind in 21st. Bobby Thomas in 18th, he's leading a bunch of 5 cars, sorry, 4 cars. And Matt Jones and Sean Thompson fighting it out for 16th and 17th at this stage of the race.
Sorry, Fonty, but these guys here, they were in quite a close battle. But unfortunately, just earlier on this lap, Michael Ford spun through the S's and wrecked his car, and it sort of broke this pack up, which is rather unfortunate.
Yeah, well, thanks for that update on that, Josh. So we're 11 laps now through this 32 lap race. We've got Ian Ford out in front. The gap's 2.2 seconds back to Joshua Rogers. Then Kurt Stenberg is sitting in 3rd now, so we didn't actually see what happened for Jake Blackhall to fall back. He must have made a mistake somewhere along the line. And then Michael
it was on
Cracknell in 5th.
Sorry, it was on this lap, Fonty. Stenberg got down the inside at turn 1, and much the same we saw him do to Cracknell a few laps ago. Clean pass, and it's obviously a preferred spot for Stenny to get down the inside.
Yeah, so no damage on the car. Well, there is damage on the car, but not obviously affecting him at all. He's done well to catch up there behind Jake Blackhall. Good driving so far by Kurt Stenberg. So this is going to be a battle right to the end. All these top 6 guys, very good drivers.
As we've got the first car in the pit lane, and it's Josh Rogers from second position.
So Rogers making an early stop. He's going to want to try and get the jump. That's exactly what he's planning to do. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, he's 20 laps out from the end of this race. A long way around here, 20 laps at VIR. So
yeah, certainly pretty hard on tyres when track temp is 44 degrees. So he may be fast for this next little stint. He's going to drive very hard to try and get Ian Ford out of the pit lane. I think Ian Ford will probably stay out a little bit longer. Joshua Rogers sitting in 14th position now. So very interesting thing for Joshua Rogers to do. Very interesting strategy.
of course, Ian Ford's been doing sort of mid 51s to low 51s around here. Josh Rogers times. I'll just have a look for you. He was managed to do low 50 when he was on good tyres at the start of this race, so Ford's going to have to be very mindful of that, as Rogers pushing very hard coming up behind Paul Gorrell, just has a little off track.
So a lot of pressure being put on Kurt Stenberg in second now. Jake Blackhall right on his rear bumper, and Michael Cracknell putting pressure on both of these guys. He might just take a lap on board with Michael Cracknell.
As I've got to say, Ian Ford's reacted to Josh Rogers pitting, and Ian Ford's now in the pits as well. 17 seconds for Josh Rogers stationary in the pit stops. We'll keep an eye on Ford's time. Mitchell Selak's pit as well, and it's a full second quicker for Ford in the pit stop.
So Jake Blackhall making a big mistake. He's dropped back a few positions. He's lost touch with Michael Cracknell and Kurt Stenberg. So we might just go back and have a look at that replay of what happened there. He'll be kicking himself after that.
I'm not really sure if Selak's done the right strategy here. 16 and 17 seconds for Ford and Rogers respectively in the pits, and Selak's done a 12.8 second stop, so I'm not sure if he's got enough fuel on board, but got a teammate in Caden Kugamea doing his spotting for him tonight, so I'm sure the guys have worked it out properly.
Yeah, so we just watched the replay of Jake Blackhall, and another one to fall to turn one. He's outbraked himself. Had a bit of a half spin on the grass there and lost a lot of time to these front two guys. So he's sitting back in 5th at the moment. We're touching on Mitchell Selak. He's there in 15th. Interesting strategy, as Brooksy was saying, for Selak. But eyes are all on the front at the moment, and we've got a lot of pressure being put on Kurt Stenberg by Michael Cracknell.
The battle behind Selak and Thompson is Marty Atkins, Brent Hobson, Robbie Tomei. They're having a fantastic battle, these guys. That's for 18th, 17th and 16th. As Brent Hobson goes to the pit lane.
So Cracknell's just done the stop. He's come out. He's sitting in 13th position. Kurt Stenberg still out there in the lead.
We can see some gains there through the pit stops, and as we suspected, Selak with a very short pit stop's got quite a margin over Cracknell, who those guys were in a pretty fierce battle before the round of pit stops.
Yeah, so as we just look at the gains for this race, Kurt Stenberg has gained 6 positions. He's obviously still needing to make his stop. Jake Blackwell moved up 3. Richard Aylward, he's moved up 10 spots so far. And Robbie Thomas up 9. So we'll take another look at those gains once all the guys do their pit stops. Interesting strategy for these guys to make. We've still got over half race distance to go, and the majority of the field have started to take their pit stops.
As our leader now is Kurt Stenberg, and he's just entered the pit lane. Looks like the 2 ERA cars are Jake Blackwell and Adam Zettinger, and the ANZ car, Richard Elwood, just pulls it up before the cone, so everyone's piling in the pit lane now. The very short stop from Stenberg, 12.3 seconds.
Yeah, so as we look at the theoretical lead for the race, we've got Ian Ford. He had a good stop. He's sitting 2.5 seconds in front of Ian Ford. Sorry, he's sitting 2.5 seconds behind Ian Ford. Cooper Murray now in 2nd place. He's racing not really for position, but he has every right to hold up Ian Ford. This could play a big part in Rogers catching him.
Oh, Cooper Murray very loose and wild up through the S's. Oh, Ian Ford's going down the inside into that tree. Pretty ballsy, he's got it done, got it stopped.
He has got it stopped, he's done well there, so not too many problems for Ian Ford to get past Cooper Murray. Slightly held up. The gap is still 2.5 seconds to Joshua Rogers. So it's going to depend on who's going to look after their tyres the best. We've only done 15 laps of 32. These guys have 4 lap old tyres now, so going to be interesting. So this battle for 3rd is definitely going to be on, I think. We've got Selak. He made a shorter stop than most. He's sitting in 4th. Cracknell 4 seconds behind him in 5th.
At the moment we've got Marty Atkins in 9th position. He's the only guy in the top 10 yet to pit, and he's probably holding Jake Blackwell up a little bit. A fantastic battle seen for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th for pit stops. It's all been broken up now. They're all quite spread out, all those guys.
Ryan O'Sullivan putting a lot of pressure on Matt Stratford now. It's a drag race up the long straight. O'Sullivan's got past Stratford. Strafford's just going to tuck him behind. Marty Atkins sitting there in 8th. He hasn't made a stop yet. He's got Jake Blackhall right behind him in 9th, so Blackhall going to be slightly held up by Atkins.
Yeah, I've been watching these guys for the last lap. Now Fonte and Blackhall's definitely been held up. He just doesn't seem to be able to get the run on the straights to get past Atkins.
I think we're going to see a pass down into turn 1. Will he outbrake himself though? It seemed to have been a mistake a lot of guys have made. No, but he has pulled it up in time. So good move there. Blackhall making a mistake before the pit stops. He was right there in the hunt for 3rd. He's slightly lost touch with these guys now.
And talking about 3rd position, the battle for 3rd, it's a little bit spread out now. Dillac about 2.5 seconds behind Stenberg. Been an exceptional race from Stenberg so far. He started 7th, he's made his way up to 3rd, but the way he's done it's been fantastic.
Yeah, good driving by Stenberg. Impressed to see him up there looking for a podium position. He hasn't had a podium yet. I think he's finished in 4th or 5th during this season. So good on him. Also, I'd like to make a big shout out to one of our other commentators who couldn't join us tonight. That is Luke Emerton. Both him and Brooksy took control of the broadcast last week when I was attempting to broadcast from the middle of nowhere, and they did an excellent job running the commentary for the Monza event we had last week. So big shout out to Luke Emerton. He's sitting at his in-laws place having dinner tonight. So there's almost a 3-second gap between Stenberg and Selak. So we just look up the front now. So we've got Ian Ford. He's leading. And gap back to Rogers is 3.7 seconds, so Ian Ford extending that gap. The last lap Ford did a 1 minute 50.82, and the last lap for Rogers was a 151.167. So Ford driving very well tonight.
Yeah, I was going to mention these was able to break the shackles of Rogers after those after a couple of mistakes from Rogers, and he's just been pumping out quality lap times ever since, and every lap is just a couple of attempts quicker than Rogers.
These two boys will be in the hunt, I think, for the V8 Scots Championship. So we'll just have Kurt Stenberg go across the line to start lap 19, and we're going to take a lap on board the amazing VIR circuit, 5.2 Ks, with Kurt Stenberg from Daco Motorsport. So that was a lap of VIR with Kurt Stenberg sitting currently in third position, having a great drive, I think. Be a bit hard for him to catch Joshua Rogers. There is a 10-second gap between those guys. And Ian Ford is extending his lead. The gap between Ford and Rogers now is 4.7 seconds, so I think we may have seen Joshua Rogers give up his chase.
Yeah, Ian Ford's doing a brilliant job at the moment, just setting a constant speed, whereas Rogers might be struggling with his tyres after his early pit stop.
So, battle for 11th and 12th. Peter Sattler and Lee Ellis is certainly heading up. Lee Ellis right on Sattler's rear bumper.
Looks like Sattler got past Lee going into turn 1 of this lap, as he was behind Lee at the start.
Okay, so we missed that move, but great driving from Sattler. Saying earlier, haven't seen Lee Ellis out in the iRacing traps too often these days. Richard Aylward there in 10th. He's chasing down Marty Atkins, who still hasn't made his pit stop yet. So that will move Aylward up to 9th when Atkins makes his stop. Jake Blackwell just running a very lone race, sitting there in 8th. He'll be kicking himself after the mistake he made earlier on. Running the 97 number tonight. The famous Shane Van Gisbergen number. Looking good out there in the Maverick welding car. His teammate Adam Zittinger in 13th. Forza Al Nabi trying to chase him down in 14th.
Just behind these guys, there's a great battle between Matt Jones and Paul Gorell for 18th and 19th.
Certainly is. We are focused on that battle, Josh. And Paul Gorell all over the back of Matt Jones. Looking to make him move up the inside. No, Jones closes the door on him.
Yeah, definitely not the best place for a move on this track through that corner.
So Richard Aylward has managed to get past Marty Atkins, who has finally made his pit stop. Nice battle for 23rd and 24th and 23rd. Josh Cook and Greg Sharp going at it there. Josh running the Angry Birds Racing Plus Fitness livery. And Greg running for Evolution Racing Australia. Demidov Innovations supporting those guys.
It's good to see you guys battling all the way up and down the pack, no matter whether you're in 24th or in first place.
Guys, the battle for position will be on soon. Having a look at the previous laps, and Cracknell's taken a lot of time out of Selak every lap.
Certainly has. Selak obviously fuel saving. He did make the shortest pit stop.
Oh, as I put the commentator's curse on Cracknell, he spun, not quite spun, but he slid off at turn 1, and he's now dropped the position to O'Sullivan.
Cracknell will be kicking himself after that one. Let's go back and have a look and see if we can see that. So turn 1 strikes again. Cracknell will be gutted.
We do believe Selak may be fuel saving. The other guy that had a very short pit stop was Stenberg as well. But he doesn't seem to be fuel saving. He's pumping out pretty good lap times.
So 5 second or 4.3 second gap between Stenberg and Selak.
While Cracknell had a little off there at turn 1, Selak can't rest on his laurels because O'Sullivan's coming at him quite hard. Last lap around, O'Sullivan with a 51 flat to Selak's 51.6, so 6 tenths the last lap around. 51.8 this lap, and a 51.4 to O'Sullivan, so another 4 tenths out of that gap.
Just riding on board with Selak, and certainly have to be pretty committed going up the hill through the S's. It's a full noise part of the track, and you make a mistake and turning in at any point in those series of turns and be off the track. Selak giving us a great example of how to take that corner. We're just looking now at Ian Ford. We've got 9 laps to go in this race. The gap stretched out to 7.8 seconds back to Rogers. So Rogers just cruising there in second place. We're back to Kurt Stenberg in third. Great drive from Stenberg so far. Did not put the commentator's curse on him. Looking to be cutting some pretty clean and consistent laps. He's got a 5 second gap back to Selak behind him. Ryan O'Sullivan, however, is on the hunt down for Selak. The gap between them is just under 2 seconds.
Back here for 17th and 18th position, Paul Gorrell and I think it's Matt Jones. Yeah, Matt Jones, side by side they were heading down the S's towards the final corner. Matt Jones has prevailed. Managed to hold his position in front of Paul Gorrell.
Yeah, let's just take a look at that. Also, he's run wide. Racing for sheep stations down there in 17th and 18th, but good to see there's still battles across the board.
Yeah, just ahead of these guys, I suspect that there'll be quite a large battle in the last couple of laps as Cooper Murray is catching Adam Zeidinger and Forzan at nearly a second a lap.
Yeah, so these boys fighting, giving Cooper Murray a chance to catch right up.
Another battle just up in front, Lee Ellis right behind Peter Sadler. They're both battling to get into the top 10. I think Lee Ellis is usually more towards the point end of the field. I think he's had a bit of time off over Christmas in the V8 and he's just finding his feet again.
So 7 laps to go now. Joshua Rogers has slightly caught up on Ian Ford. It's not going to be enough though to catch him and pass him with only 7 laps to go.
The battle for 4 positions heading up as Sullivan's pretty much there on the rear bumper bar now of Sealak. And just for good measure, Cracknell's making a lot of gains as well. Of course, the iRacing model of this car, short shifting does not really save you any fuel, unfortunately, in this car, and the only way to save fuel is to not use the accelerator as much, so you're bound to lose quite a bit of time. As you can see, Sealak pushing pretty hard there on the corner exit, getting the rear wheels in the dirt. I think it's just a case of a Sullivan picking his moment to get the job done here.
These guys battle too hard. Will give an opportunity for Cracknell to catch up. There is only a 2-second gap between Sullivan and Cracknell.
Yeah, you can see Sealak rolling out of the throttle quite early at the end of the straights.
Good
Sullivan
battle.
will wake up to it.
Yeah, good battle also back between Peter Sattler and Lee Ellis. Ellis has got past Sattler again. And Sattler's looking to go On the outside, he's making a move, and Sattler goes past Ellis.
Ooh,
Oh, contact between the two. Oh, and Sattler's around. Lee Ellis.
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Ellis definitely
that's-
got in the rear of Sattler, but Ellis could not just make his car disappear. I'm not sure if Sattler should have moved across quite as quick as he did.
Oh yeah, and just ahead of Sattler now as Kimura got real loose out of the last turn there as he was catching Forzan and Adam.
Yes, so Ellis getting into the right rear quarter of Peter Sattler. Sattler will be gutted. He was driving a great race. Just watch the onboard footage from both cars. And Ford extending his lead now. He's got only 5 laps to go. 8-second gap back to Rogers. Driven a great race so far. Don't think we will see him spin off or do anything silly like that.
I can't take my eyes off the battle for 4th. Cracknell is right there now. Sullivan's taken a fair bit of time to get past Shellac, so it's enabled Cracknell to join these two in front. Expect the last couple of laps to heat up.
Prediction here, guys. I reckon Cracknell could give us the goods and come through and get both of these guys. What are you guys' predictions? Who do you reckon's going to take it out of this bunch?
I should be with Serlac, but I'm not sure if he's got the fuel to battle, so I think Cracknell may just get this.
Ryan Sullivan, also a very good driver, so he won't certainly give it to Cracknell easy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Serlac on this one. I think Cracknell and O'Sullivan will battle it out and give Serlac the required room to save the fuel needed.
Okay, well, Josh has called it there. Oh, Cracknell, no, he's made a mistake. That's his race done. That's his race done. We were just riding on board there with him as he made that mistake.
I put the commentator's curse on him.
Yes, no, we did. We do apologise, Cracknell, for that. More than likely, we'll watch the broadcast later on in the week. So we'll focus on this battle between O'Sullivan and Serlac. And oh, he's made a move up the inside. So O'Sullivan's popped a move now. He's pushed Serlac wide. He's going to have the inside run to the next turn. Serlac not giving up easily though. This could give Cracknell a chance to get back in it. He's caught right up on the back of these two, so great move by O'Sullivan. Big long straight now. We'll get the toe up here. We'll slightly catch up O'Sullivan. But Cracknell's looking to make a move on Serlac. He's going to show his nose, but not close enough. What a great battle we have here. I reckon we're going to see Cracknell make a move down into turn 1. O'Sullivan gets very out of shape there.
I think you may be seeing Serlac make a move.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Brooksy. Serlac's going to make a move at the inside. Is O'Sullivan going to cover? No, he's not. Serlac makes a move. Can he pull it up in time? Yes, he does. But inside, outside, no. Oh, here we go. Side-by-side action. This is great racing. And Serlac's got the inside line. And Cracknell's in there. Cracknell's in there. Oh, he's going to push him, so Sullivan's getting out of this. No.
Cracknell had it all locked up.
Cracknell right out of shape. So Serlac gets back in, so we've got this original grid positions before the battling unfolded. 2 laps to go now. Cracknell's still on the back of these guys. We've got a couple of big long straights still to go.
Cracknell's done well to get back onto these guys from his little mistake 2 laps ago.
He certainly has.
You saw in the opening part of this lap, he's certainly pushing very hard.
Sullivan getting a great run out of the right-hander. See, big long draft here. We just had Ian Ford going to the last lap. We won't go on to him. We know he's going to win the race. We'll stay with this bunch.
The real question here is, has Mitchell Serlac got enough fuel to make it home? Or there's always a question when he made his really short pit stop.
Yeah, him and Stenberg, Joss. Looks like Stenberg's travelling okay out the front, out in third, sorry.
Sullivan is giving it his all to try and catch Serlac. I think Cracknell's struggling for rear tyre now. I can predict we will see a move by O'Sullivan up the long straight.
Oh, O'Sullivan's pushing very hard too, sideways.
Oh, so that might have just given enough space now. Only got half a lap left. There's a full 1 second gap, so I think we've seen the race done, to be honest, guys. But has Serlac got enough fuel to make it home?
Yeah, I don't think O'Sullivan's close enough here. By the end of the straight, he won't be close enough, so Serlac can roll out of this, but as Ford takes the victory.
It could be close. Mitchell was rolling out at the end of the back straight there.
Yeah, could definitely have seen it before. Was coughing on the main straight and not being able to make it home. That he does in 4th position, Serlac. So great fuel saving race by him. O'Sullivan comes home 5th, and after that mistake, Cracknell comes home in 6th. But great racing by the 3 guys.
Yeah, so Ian Ford is the winner of the race. We go back to Joshua Rogers and Kurt Stenberg in 3rd. Well done to Kurt Stenberg on his 3rd place finish. That is the highest finish he has had for this series in this season. And then great drive by Serlac to finish in 4th. certainly on for young and old there. O'Sullivan got to be happy with his drive in 5th place. And Cracknell gave it his all there. But I think he slightly ran out of rear tyre. We got Matt Stratford in 8th, Jake Blackwell in 9th, Richard Elwood in Jake Blackwell in 8th, Richard Elwood in 9th, Lee Ellis in 10th, Cooper Murray in 11th, and Forzen El Nabi in 12th. Jason Bentz finish up 13th, Robbie Thomas 14th, Marty Atkins finished up 15th, Matt Jones 16th, Peter Sattler 17th, Paul Garrell in 18th, and Brenton Hobson 19th. Michael in 20th. So a lot of guys not finishing today's race, but certainly a great race by all.
Yeah, there was some fantastic battles, particularly before the pit stops, and then that battle for 4th position at the end. All 3 guys threw everything at that, and Zelak was managed to come out on top with great racing.
These guys turning it up for us tonight. Yes, so we were certainly treated to a great race. Well done to Ian Ford. He did really well tonight. Finished 11 seconds in front of Joshua Rogers. An outstanding drive by Kurt Stenberg. So we have our first driver to pop into the commentary box, and happens to be a very close friend of mine and my co-driving partner for the V8 SUPERCAR Series last year, and that's Richard Elwood. How you going, Richard?
Yeah, good fun to yourself.
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. How did tonight's race go for you?
Mate, I was just hanging in there most of the race. I'm really struggling with qualifying at the moment, so just qualifying around 15th everywhere, and that's hard to race from.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have had much time to get practicing for the series this week, mate. How did your car go anyway?
Our car was pretty good. I think I was on pretty good pace with the guys around me. It was a pretty important race to stay in the slipstream, and once you lost that, it was really hard to keep up. But yeah, I think with a bit more practice, I can be competitive, but all the other guys can say the same, so we just got to do what you can, mate.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Yeah, your fastest lap was a 1:51.499. So, yeah, not too far off the pace of the front guys. Pretty hard to catch the likes of Ian Ford and Joshua Rogers. But yeah, certainly right there with Kurt Stenberg, who finished in 3rd. So we can expect to see you at round 1 of the V8 SUPERCAR Series next weekend, can we, Richard?
Certainly in the plans, mate. I've got to qualify, mate. There's plenty of guys out there putting a lot of work in, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Certainly a great circuit, Montreal, that we're going to, so we look forward to seeing how you go in that event. You certainly got some good guys to help with setup and whatnot leading up to that. So is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight, or?
Oh yeah, well, just got to thank the team, and everyone's chipping in. I saw Mitch did well, so well done to him, and well done to the guys on the podium.
Yeah, Mitch did great, mate. He really did well. Good battle between him and Ryan O'Sullivan and Michael Cracknell, and he's come through with the goods to finish 4th. So well done to him. So thanks for joining us in the commentary box tonight, mate.
No problems, mate. My pleasure.
Cheers. So, the next of our drivers to join us for tonight finished in second place, and that is Joshua Rogers. Not quite the dominating performance that you've had in recent weeks, mate, but how did tonight go for you?
Yeah, thanks guys. Tonight's race definitely wasn't too bad. For sure wasn't on the pace and just had that consistency dialed in, and yeah, all in all it was a pretty good race. We tried playing some strategy there, try and jump, close a little bit of time, and I think we did, but his consistency with tyres just helped him stretch those legs and pull away.
Yeah, well, you certainly set the benchmark for everyone making a pit stop. It seemed to be that as soon as you made a stop, everyone seemed to peel on in behind you. It was an interesting strategy you made there, pitting on lap 12. Not quite in half race distance. I can imagine that your rear tyres would have been struggling by the last laps of the race.
Yeah, it was a very early stop to make, but we kind of couldn't risk Ian pitting before us because that would have involved in him pulling an even larger gap than it already was. But yeah, no, the tyres were absolutely stuffed by the end of that one. Definitely have to do some more setup work with making sure the car's a bit more stable. It was bouncing around all over the shop most of the time, so yeah, no, hopefully we can get that sorted out and have a crack later on. Like,
yeah, well, good on you, mate, and we can expect to see you at round 1 of the V8 SUPERCAR Series next weekend, can we?
yeah, for sure, definitely really keen for that one. Didn't get to do all that many rounds last year, but yeah, with TCL we should be on par. It's pretty exciting, really.
Yeah, well, it's certainly going to shape out to be a great series. As I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've taken over the running of V8s online, and we'll be looking after that broadcast in the future. So we are certainly looking forward to it. We've got some great things in store for this year. Plenty of action. I can expect to see that you'll be challenging for the front, mate. So you'll be taking it to our very own Jared Felsell, and yeah, it'll be good to see you guys battling it.
Oh, I hope so. I don't know. That's a bit of a tall ask, I think, for round 1. But yeah, hopefully we can do something along those lines. Hopefully aiming for possibly like a top 10 would be great, but top 5 would be ecstatic. So yeah, hopefully we can do that, and also AEC this weekend will make things pretty tough when it comes to making sure we're on form for Scops, considering it's a very, very different car, the HPD and the V8, so hopefully we can see what we can do there too.
Yeah, well, I also will be joining the race this weekend for the Bathurst 12-hour Australian Endurance Championship, and I'm looking forward to that. So you can check out the broadcast for that on Sunday. I think it starts at 10 o'clock Sydney time on Sunday, and we'll go till 10 o'clock on Sunday night. So thank you for joining us tonight, Josh, mate, and well done on your second place finish.
Yeah, no dramas. Thanks, Wes. Also, congratulations on that broadcasting for Scops. That's really something that's you should be really, really proud of, and yeah, hopefully we can see some really, really good broadcasts from you guys.
Yeah, we certainly have some cool things in store for you guys, and we'll be making announcements with new partners and whatnot for the year very soon. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting year, mate, and we look forward to covering a lot of your racing as well. So yeah, it's going to be great. So thanks for joining us tonight, mate, and we'll see you on track on Sunday and next week's Wednesday night V8 SUPERCAR Series.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So we'll talk to our winner of the race, and then we'll go back to our third place finish. So, Ian Ford's joined us in the commentary box here. Well done, Ian, on your race win tonight. You had a dominant performance. Your car looked to be set up really well. You certainly had the pace over Joshua Rogers tonight. Made a couple of mistakes early on in the race, and Rogers got past you, but you managed to get past him again and just pull a 11-second gap to finish the race in first position. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. You know, it was one of those sort of races. I got a decent start, held on to the lead for the first couple of laps, just made sure that I was just behaving myself, wasn't doing anything stupid, like getting off tracks or slowdowns or anything like that. And yeah, just made one little mistake, got behind Josh, and then literally just derped along behind him in the draft for a little bit, and just, you know, didn't really feel the need to try and attack or anything like that, just for the fact that with the tyres falling off and the temperature as high as it was, you could like literally just pit at the same time, pit a lap earlier, get an undercut going, and eventually he made a mistake. I just managed to keep the car on track at the same time, and went up the inside of him, and then I just decided just to check out and try and make a gap so he couldn't undercut me. And after that, I don't know if he short fueled or got damage or a slowdown or something in the end there, but he dropped back a fair bit, and I just kept on cruising along at the same pace. Just made sure every now and then that I tested the tyres, just made sure that they had enough grip and everything, just getting ready for the official series this week.
Yeah, it was certainly good, and we commented on you, nearly following Rogers off there. You had a great race, Rogers, and we spoke with him previous to you, and he said that he struggled for car setup this week, and your car just seemed to be that much faster than his. So well done on your race win tonight. That'll be your second for this season, which you're sitting in third in the championship points at the moment. So well done on that one, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Maverick Welding, ERA as a whole, everyone seems to be working super hard at the moment, trying to get everything ready for the AEC, and also a few other different series, and like the GT1 Championship Pro-Am and all those sorts of things, and also Jake Blackhall for putting a beautiful skin on our car every night of the week, especially with a few of the classic ones like the Murphy Wins car and stuff like that he's done this week. They're awesome to look at if you look up whatever it is, Night Rider Designs on Facebook. Yeah,
cool. Big ups to him, mate. And we can expect to see you at round 1 of the V8 SUPERCAR Series next weekend, can we?
Yeah, certainly. The team are pretty much forcing me to get out of bed and actually do some racing at Montreal, even though I don't really like the track. So you know, I'll rock up. Probably won't do that many practice laps because I just crack the fooies around there too much with all the slowdowns and big curves. But you know, hopefully we're as equally as competitive as last season, where we got a top 4 in the championship. So hopefully we try and back it up again this year.
Yeah, certainly you guys were knocking on the door last year, and it'll be good to see you guys fighting for a championship this year. So thanks for joining us in the commentary box tonight, Ian, mate, and well done on your race win. It was a dominating performance, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
No worries. Thanks for the broadcast.
Cheers. So now we're going to pull up our third place finisher for tonight, and that will be Kurt Stenberg. He drove a great race, and I certainly was pretty impressed. It's the highest up he's finished for this season so far in the OSR V8 SUPERCAR Series. How did tonight's race go for you, Kurt?
Well, I finished third, so it went pretty well. Started 7th, which was a bit better than usual, and I found I had pace on a lot of the guys I was around early on, so just tried to chip them off, and then I actually pitted, and I didn't put I didn't put quite enough fuel in, and I had to save just to make sure that I was going to be safe, because I was about a litre or 2 short. So other than that, everything else went perfect.
Yeah, we were certainly aware that your stop was shorter than most others, and we thought you may have had to slightly fuel save there, But yeah, it was certainly a great battle which was shaping out there, early on in the race, and you managed to sort of stay out of trouble and be one of the ones that sort of didn't throw it off the track. We noticed you slightly clipped the inside tyre barrier. Well, that's what we saw from our angle. But yeah, didn't certainly make much damage on the car. It certainly didn't slow you down. So well done on your third place finish tonight.
Yeah, that's weird, that one, because Matt Ross Monroe, who was spotting for me tonight, mentioned that I'd hit the tyre bundle as well, but I didn't. I was really close to it, and I had to turn out of it, but I didn't hit it on my screen. So yeah, it's a weird one from iRacing, but
no worries. One of the joys of iRacing. Certainly, It looks like you had a little bit of damage there, but yeah, the car was obviously okay. And you did really well tonight, mate. I was super impressed with your drive, and yeah, you got to be happy with your third place finish.
Yeah, pretty happy. This track's been pretty good to me, so we'll race it more often.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And we also can expect to see you the first round of the V8 SUPERCAR Series next weekend.
Yeah, I'll be there at Montreal, looking to at least replicate what I did there last season, I hope, and finish on the podium, but I don't think that's extremely likely, but I'll be trying to anyway.
Yeah, well, not too sure if you're aware, but I've taken over the running of the V8's online channel, and we will be streaming live coverage of the first round of the V8 SUPERCAR Series to both SimSpeed TV and to V8's online, and it will be a great event. So
yeah, I heard about that. That's pretty cool for you guys. I wish you luck with that endeavour, and I hope that it all goes well.
Yeah, mate, thank you. No, it will be great. So, thanks for joining us, mate. We've got a couple of other interviews to do, so
no worries.
Thanks for coming up, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week, mate.
Yeah, thanks for the broadcast, and we'll see you at Suzuka.
Cheers, buddy. So the last of our drivers to have an interview tonight. They drove a great race, probably pushed it a little bit too hard at places and threw it off. Managed to finish in 8th tonight, and that's Jake Blackhall. How you going, Jake?
Hey, thank you, Fonty. Thank you for bringing me here.
So, how did your race go, mate? You were certainly in the hunt there for a sort of top 3 finish. You were battling there really tightly with Stenberg. And sort of what happened, mate? You just outbraked yourself and threw yourself off the track, or?
Yeah, well, it was a great battle with Stenny. It was top-notch battle between him that we had in the first stint. I actually was changing my brake bias and adjusted it too many times, and as soon as I went into the brakes, into turn 1, it just insta-locked on me and I couldn't unlock the brakes, so I was sort of a bit frustrated with that. So that was just a mistake, just trying to make the brake bias a bit better for me in the later stint of that run, and then everyone started to pit, so it was sort of just follow the leader from then and hold on towards the end, and I did that. 8th, yeah, not what I was looking for tonight, but it's still promising.
Yeah, mate, I certainly thought you drove a great race, and although you threw it off, you certainly showed that you have the pace to be right up there in the front, mate, and come back again next week and have a crack at it again. Can we expect to see you for the V8 SUPERCAR season this year?
Yes, I'll be running full season V8 SUPERCARs and also being the endurance partner with Ian Ford for the season. So that'll be good. Trying to get everything sorted so I can get something better with the computer setup and everything to keep up with him, because he's just a jet. So hopefully we can put it up the front and stick it up with everyone.
Yeah, well, good on you guys. Will certainly be a hard pair to beat. So well done. Anyone you'd like to thank while you're up here tonight, mate?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the boys at ERA. They put in a lot of effort each week. Our sponsors, Maverick Welding, Way of Life, Demidov Innovations and Auto Loan Centre. Yeah, without them we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Awesome, mate. Well, thanks for joining us in the commentary box tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at round 10 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 SUPERCAR Series next week at Suzuka.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one.
So we'll pull up the last of our interviews for tonight, and this person is certainly a very good friend of mine. and is the runner of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. And this is the owner of Oceanic Sim Racing, and that is Simon Black. How are you, Simon?
Oh, I'm good, thanks, Fonny. How are you, buddy?
Oh, good, mate. Good, thank you.
You have a good race tonight there in the top split?
Yeah, we did, mate. Yeah, it was pretty good. We had Ian Ford. He won the race by 11 seconds with some good battles throughout the field. How did you go in the second split?
Yeah, I had a victory in the second split in the SimSpeed OSR car, so pretty happy with that one.
Oh, mate, that's awesome. Well done on that. It's a shame that we don't cover the second split to
Yes,
be
I'll
able
have
to do
to
that. But
pick up my
well done
speed
on
next week.
Yeah, well done on that, mate. That'll certainly help your championship points overall.
Yeah, that will be handy.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate.
And
So,
yes.
yeah,
Sorry.
No, you're right, mate. Yeah, so no, we're good broadcast tonight. We're just sort of saying that next weekend we have the first round of the V8 SUPERCAR Series.
Yes, only what'll be about 10 days away now, so very much looking forward to that. We'll kick off at the Circuit Jules Villeneuve, so should be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm certainly pretty excited for that. Myself and Simon, a big part together to bring that series to the world, and we certainly have some cool things in store for this year.
Yeah, there's definitely some exciting stuff. Looks like it's going to come together in the next week or so, so it should make for a great season.
Yeah, so keep an eye out on the V8 Scops, V8's online, and SimSpeed TV Facebook pages. Also the forums. We will have some news for the series this year and some new partners and whatnot. So that'll be a great time. So thanks for coming up and joining us tonight, Simon, mate, and well done on your first place victory for the second split tonight.
Thank you, mate. And thank you to you and Brooksy for doing the broadcast tonight. Very much appreciated. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no worries at all, mate. So that'll pretty much wrap us up for tonight. Are you there, Brooksy?
Yeah, mate. Sorry, yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine, mate. So we better choose a driver of the night, mate. I reckon I've got one lined up. Wasn't the winner of tonight's race. I sort of think that driver of the night should be going to Kurt Stenberg. I thought he drove a great race to finish in third. What are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to give it a steady, mate. It was a damn good drive by him. Obviously, Ian Ford dominated, but it was a good drive by Stenny, able to come through the pack, bugger all contact with anyone, and some quite good passes he did.
Yeah, it was, mate. He kept it clean, didn't throw it off the track, which a lot of the other drivers did out there. Mitchell Selak also drove a great race, and so did Michael Cracknell. But yeah, definitely for tonight's broadcast, we give Kurt Stenberg driver of the night. So well done to Kurt. So that'll pretty much wrap up our broadcast for tonight. It's certainly been a pleasure bringing this event to you. We have another 2 rounds in this season for the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. Next week we go to the Suzuka track. So on behalf of myself, Clayton Brooks and Josh Nowak, this has been round 9 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series, in which we came to you live from the awesome VIR full race circuit. And that will be all for tonight. Everyone stay safe, and we look forward to next week's broadcast and the V8 SUPERCAR Series starting next weekend.